I've created this channel to be a space for those of you like me who might be experiencing a shift in your lives. I have been feeling sad and stuck these past number of years, not knowing what I want to do with my life. I've been feeling like I have not been living true to myself and constantly feeling like there has to be more. There must be something that makes life feel more worthwhile. And it took me a while to realize that I was not engaging in anything that I actually enjoyed. I was getting up every day, going to work, coming home, and then doing nothing at all because I was so mentally exhausted from work. And I would do this every single day. I was also completely sedentary. I have an office job where 99% of what I need to do is sitting at a desk on a computer. Then I would come home and sit some more and drown myself in old sitcoms or social media. I was in a rut and I was bored and completely unhappy with my life. I remember sometime in 2020, I asked my mother if this was what life as an adult was. Getting up and doing the same thing every day, barely making enough money to live comfortably while being in crippling student loan debt. And she said yes, that this is the life of most Americans, that this was all there was. Go to school, become an adult, go to work, pay bills, and then retire, while still having bills to pay. I had nothing to say back to her in that moment, but internally I instantly rejected that. If this was all there was to life, then I would rather lie down somewhere and never awaken. On top of this, I was going through another shift spiritually. Having been raised in a strict religious household, I still battle internally with the things that have been ingrained in me from childhood, yet never aligned with me, nor do I believe in. But when you are told over and over again in the most formative years of your life that you will burn in a fiery pit if you don't subscribe to a certain belief or lifestyle, it's hard to feel like you are making the right decision for yourself. I was unfortunately raised in a religious background that indoctrinated fear and the belief that as God's children, we are supposed to suffer and have a hard life, just as Jesus suffered, because this will teach us to come to Him with our worries. I no longer subscribe to accepting teachings and forced beliefs uncritically, and I have never believed that life is supposed to be difficult just to get closer to a God or a deity. I believe this type of enforcement stunted my self-expression growing up and has made me feel like a late bloomer in accepting who I am and being wholeheartedly me outside of religious constraints. Growing up, two of the many things I loved was art and nature. I was constantly collecting rocks, picking flowers, climbing trees, and rolling in grass to the dismay of my mother and the destruction of my grass-stained clothes. Nature was home for me. I loved nature, and I still do, and often find myself, even as an adult, collecting the things I find when I am outdoors. My love of nature has never waned since my childhood, but I have grown distant in my adulthood due to life and the growth of and reliance on technology. I have been reflecting on all of this and asking myself, what are the things that I like doing? If I did not have to get up early and go into an office every day, what would I like to do? If I had the freedom to express myself and my own personal beliefs, what would they be? And the answers were to connect with nature once again, to live by the seasons, to read more, write more, to get in tune with my own spirituality and beliefs, and get back into the artsy hobbies I loved so much but dropped due to age, work, and exhaustion. The shift I have felt these past couple of seasons, I believe it is telling me that this is the right path for me. This is the path to rediscovering myself and finally taking the steps toward living the life I want to live unapologetically and without fear. My life and spirituality are my own, and no one can tell me how to be. And there is nothing wrong with a little bit of imagination and a little bit of magic. Autumn is here, and while many people might view autumn as a slow death before winter hibernation, I have changed my view and now see it as a time for renewal and regeneration, for a complete rebirth. I too am coming into my rebirth. The past me is falling away just like the crisp autumn leaves. It might leave me bare and vulnerable and frightened, but when spring comes again, I will be just like the flowers and the rest of the earth around me, and I welcome it. I am ready to be the version of me that I've always wanted to be, the version of me that younger me could see in her mind's eye, but was too afraid to become. I am ready to bloom. Stay enchanted, my friends.